Hello, Max here. With the PTR landing, it messed up my stride and we missed a Bluewatch last week. I hope you can find it in your hearts to forgive me. Fortunately, everything worth talking about on the forums last week was the hero balance changes, and that hit the PTR anyway, so we don't have loads to catch up on. This week we'll be talking competitive Season 2, the healer skill rating problem, and Widow changes are being considered. But first, Hanzo is not Robin Hood. Shocking, I know. But Drosty Fog on the forums is not happy. The way that Hanzo holds his bow and shoots is completely different from the Eastern way, which should be the correct one. Instead of that, Hanzo shoots like a medieval European archer and has a quiver on his back, which is horribly wrong for a character like Hanzo. This thread then somehow degenerates into an argument between what was more effective, European or Eastern archery techniques. Welcome to the internet, boys and girls. What they are taking offense to is the fact that Hanzo holds his bow gangster style like he's about to steal from the rich. This is a video game. Sometimes gameplay has to take precedence over historical accuracy, especially since this is a highly stylized cartoon future, set after a global war fought against robots. I don't mean to ruin your life, but Narnia doesn't exist. He-Man is not actually master of the universe, and there has never been one ring that rules them all. If Hanzo's bow was held vertically, it would cover most of the screen, and you might as well play Widowmaker, because she would have a bigger field of view. Jeff Goodman even said so himself. As you may have noticed, Season 1 has ended, and Season 2 is due to start on September 6th. Some players are not happy with the duration of the downtime. Remington, who has posted with his top 500 icon just to show how important his opinion is, says quick play is a nightmare and he has no desire to play Overwatch while competitive is unavailable. I do appreciate Remington, and I'm sure many other people's opinions, that quick play is a very different game to competitive. I personally still enjoy jumping into a quick play where I don't care if we win or lose and I can do crazy things like play defense heroes. However, I can see how it might suck for those who want to play a game that doesn't have 4 tanks on their side and no supports. A common suggestion on this thread is to have an out-of-season competitive available, where there is no skill rating but it still has the competitive rule set. I personally think this is a great idea, and Jeff Kaplan did respond to say, if we do take a break between future seasons, we should make sure there is some way to play the competitive format during the downtime. And we should re-evaluate the length of time between seasons. Jeff then goes on to point out that this is a difficult timing to work out because everyone will feel differently. Someone will want there to be no break at all, but others will want breaks of varying lengths. Jeff did not reply to this thread again, but the general consensus is that a break of any length is fine as long as the competitive format is still available to play. I fully agree with the community on this one. In fact, I'd love to have the alternative competitive format available all the time, so you can play a proper game without putting your skill rating on the line. This way you could queue with the friends that you have a large skill rating gap with and take a break from the stress of competitive without having to put up with the frustration quick play can bring. Speaking of skill rating gaps, the rules on who you can queue with for competitive has changed. Jeff Kaplan posted to say, for Master and Grandmaster you must be within 500 skill rating of your group mates. For Diamond and below you must be within 1000 skill rating of your group mates. Previously this was 500. So those of us in Diamond and below, this would be like queuing with a friend within 20 skill rating in Season 1. There was a lot of complaints about how restrictive 500 skill rating was. I personally only really want to play games with people all around the same skill level for as balanced a game as possible, so I'm not a big fan of expanding it, but I can see that people want to play with their friends, and as we already discussed on here, there is no other option currently to do that with the competitive rule set. Another issue with skill rating that until now has gone unresponded to is the lower skill rating awarded to those who main healers. Overwatch doesn't have a flat gain-loss skill rating system based on wins and losses. They have metrics to measure against for each hero, and how you measure up to those metrics will affect how much skill rating you gain when you win and how much rating you lose for a loss. The problem happens when you play a healer like Lucio or Mercy and you win. If you won the game, you likely needed to do less healing because your team was outperforming the other team and likely took far less damage. When it comes to the skill rating awarded, the healers were getting screwed. This was documented during Season 1 placements where the pro teams would play together, and every team reported that their support mains would place much lower than the rest of the team despite all playing the same games together. Jeff Kaplan has stated that they have made changes to this system, and the small amount of data they have on the PTR indicates both Zenyatta and Ana are getting appropriate skill rating, but Mercy is placing low, and Lucio is placing very low. A good Lucio player will make or break any big fight with proper speed boost usage and good ultimate timings. It seems very unfair to give them less skill rating if they performed well, but measuring this could be difficult. They are working on fixes at the moment, and this is something I very much hope they get right. I enjoy playing support, but I don't want to feel like I'm getting punished when I pick up the role. And finally, the fat greasy nerds might be coming back. Run for your lives. Widowmaker was pretty much nerfed out of the meta when they adjusted her body shot damage down to 120 from 150, and more importantly, they stopped the animation cancelling that allowed players to unscope and rescope in a fraction of a second. This allowed skilled Widow players to unscope between every shot to get a wide field of view before scoping back in to fire at the target with no rate of fire penalty. On top of that, the meta shifted to a very aggressive fast-paced style that utilised Orb of Discord and Lucio's speed boost to get on top of the enemy to quickly burst them down. Not a meta suited to the now slow, methodical Widowmaker that couldn't quickscope every shot. Previously, she was overpowered and incredibly frustrating to play against because even supposed counters like Genji and Tracer were just getting destroyed at close range with her quick-scoping antics. Forum user Weasel posted asking Blizzard to try and implement a faster Widowmaker scope that didn't rely on animation cancelling, similar to Ana's. If you quickscope with Ana, it increases her rate of fire by 0.4 of a second. Jeff Goodman did reply to say, "Yeah, I've been trying to think of ways to do this. I don't have anything concrete yet, but I would like to allow for the old scoping method without the raw power gain it provided. I would love to see Widowmaker return in some kind of a balanced form. A Widowmaker that can be dealt with but at the same time still offers functionality to her team. At the moment, the meta doesn't really support a long-range sniper with the very aggressive team comps Lucio, Zenyatta, Zarya and D.Va allow you to bring to the table. However, maybe in the future, we could see a little more of the femme fatale." And that about wraps up this week's Bluewatch. You can follow me on Twitter at TotallyFutile, and our Patreon campaign can be found on patreon.com/cynicalnerds. Big thank you to everyone who is supporting us over there. We stream 4 nights a week on twitch.tv/cynicalnerds, so stop by and say hi. And until next time, take it easy, and I'll see you soon.